another great show on Pensacola Wants to Know. I have with me today the folks from Unity in the Family. We got I got Dr. Avant here. Dr. Avant, welcome to Pensacola Wants to Know.
Thank you.
All right. And also his partner in crime, Reverend Greer. How you doing this morning?
Fine, sir. How you doing?
I am doing well. I am doing well this morning, y'all. We got a exciting show. We got something that you need to know about. It's a three-letter word called jobs and another word called training and so forth. So I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Avant here. Doc, I understand that you have a program that you got on service here that going to be a benefit to this community. Can you explain to us what we got going here?
Yes, we have a training program that trains in environmental remediation. Uh, our students, this is a 12-week program that will start on January 6th and end on March 28th. Uh, three, 3 months, and it's divided into two sections. First and foremost, this program is completely free. As a matter of fact, when coming to class, if you're following through and doing what we ask you to do, you receive a $100 stipend each week. We'll provide lunch for you every day, and we'll give you bus passes if you don't have transportation to and from school. And the class is the first session, first 6 weeks is basic skills, where we teach our students life skills, job readiness, mathematics, study skills, physical fitness, environmental justice, and hazmat training. Those are basic skills because many times our students have not been in school for a while. And this will prepare them and get them ready for when they start having to take the technical part of the course, because you have to pass tests in order to be certified. Because most of the technical classes, you get a national or state certification. And so in order to do that, you have this classroom work as well as hands-on work. But you have to pass a written test in order to be able to be certified in those areas. And you can take those certifications in a lot of other places. Other states will accept those certifications that you can go and start working in the remediation field. The second session or the technical skill component of the class is they learn how to do clean up hazardous waste, construction waste, mold, lead, asbestos. They get HAZWOPER certification for emergency response. They get asbestos and lead abatement. They have mold awareness, basic construction, weatherization, OSHA 30 construction, and basic electricity. And the students are taught by professionals in the industry who will be doing the training. We have two trainers that come from New Orleans, Louisiana, Mr. Bruce McClue and Ms. Kim Dunn, who are master's level chemists. And they come in and they do the mold and the asbestos and the lead and the HAZWOPER courses. And we have a local person, Ms. Johnson. She teaches the OSHA 30 class, and she has a bachelor's in environmental management. And I don't know if we have one person who actually was a student who's now coming back and teaching a class, and that's our weatherization class. It's being taught by Mr. John Johnson, who has since left our program and started his own construction firm. So he comes back and teaches the weatherization course. Mr. Michael Stallworth, who is a professional painter and has worked in the construction field for over 30 years, he teaches the basic construction class. And Mr. Michael Allen, who is a local electrician who owns his own electrician company, will be teaching the electrician course. So that's the basic program. Again, the students would come to class Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, and they would, it's set up to operate as a job. If people come in late, they get docked for their stipend. Because on the job, if you come in late, they're not going to pay you. So pay you those hours that you missed, they take that from your check. And that's what we do with this. Or if you leave and don't come back, those hours are counted against you.
Okay.
Pastor Greer, you have anything else you'd like to add to that?
Well, I'll tell you, just to chime in what Dr. Avent was saying, a lot of our students, when they come in, they're apprehensive about learning. And it's interesting because we take them back to square one, helping them to overcome the fears that they have. We have something that we like to incorporate when we're doing our orientation. We introduce them to a couple of songs. One of them in particular is called "The Man in the Mirror." We try to bring them to a point where they can see themselves, understand that they're not in competition with each other, and that they're the ones that kind of change their lifestyle. They want to turn their life around. And so there's another one that we also introduced them to. It's called "Adulting" by Jonathan McReynolds. And we don't preach to them. We live a life before them that they can see the love of God operating in through us. We are a ministry. We do ministry, and but we don't come at you from the standpoint of preaching to you. We live that life in front of them, and I believe that the ones that have come through here have seen that example. They became part of a family, and a lot of these young men and women who have come through here, they've been disenfranchised. They need somebody to wrap their arms around them and say, "Hey, look, man, we're here to help you. We're not here to hurt you." But then we also give them what they call tough love. We make sure they understand when you're out there in the workforce, you're out there to do a job. You're not out there to make best friends or become friends with folk. You're out there to earn a living for you and your family. And so that's one of the things that we really stress here is that we are here to help guide you. Don't worry about making mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. We understand you being human, but you need to learn from your mistakes. And we want to make sure that you understand this is not just a job, it's a career that you're getting on. You're getting on a path now that can take care of you for the rest of your life.
Okay, let me ask. So what are you? This is for folks out there, and as all you can understand that this is a brand new training program starting on January the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. You said
January 6th.
January 6th. Okay, it's a 12-week program, right? And it's a paid training. Paid training. You're going to pay people to come in and take this training, and it's going to last for 12 weeks. Now, let me ask you, how does one qualify for the program?
Well, we ask that they have graduated from high school or have a GED, but we will talk with some people who maybe doesn't have that yet and might be still able to participate in the class. We're recruiting right now. They could call my number at 850-748-0675, which is my cell, and our office number, which is 433-9377. And they would be able to contact either myself or Pastor Greer, and we would sign them up for class and get them ready. Once we get our list, we would call them back and give them a date for coming in. They have to take the TABE test and pass it at 70%. Once they take the TABE, then they come in and we'll do they'll fill out applications and some forms that we need to have for the use of the class, and then they would come to a 2-day orientation where they come and have to do some team building projects, because this work is, you can't do it alone. You're going to have people that you have to work with. So we go forward and set up so that they can start working with as a team. For one project where they have to, we have like a erector set. We've already got it set up, and then we would divide them off into teams, and the teams have to figure out how to put the erector set back together without one person. The other erector set is off in another room. One person come over and look at it, come back, and then you have one person who is they're the builder, and they will start putting the erector set together. And if they do it correctly, the thing it starts moving. It has some motion in it, and but it teaches them how to work as a team, how to go in, look, and how to talk back to each other and tell each other what's going on. I forgot one of the courses that we have during the basic skills, which is probably one of the most important class that we have. We do group and individual counseling. Uh, Mr. Rodney Jones with New Believers is our individual counselor. He's a master's level mental health counselor who, as I put it, has had a sorted past. And I teach the group counseling. Uh, I am a licensed addiction counselor, and I have a sorted past, so that we can sit and talk with those students and give them some guidance as to if they have had issues in their lives, they still can make some changes and they can go forward and become successful. And because they let them know that you cannot let your past dictate your future, and counseling them so that they know that they have to come in and work on changing who they are and doing things different. Because what do they say? To do the same thing over and over again the same way and expect a different result is insanity. So if you're looking to change, we've got to make some changes. You've got to make some changes in your life. And we've had quite a few people to come through and have become very, very successful in life. Uh, One gentleman, we'll just use his first name. His name is Ray. He came with us, came straight out of prison. He had been in prison for 7 years, and he came straight to us, and he really understood, got there and studied and learned all of the materials that was being taught, and we started sending him to some jobs all over the United States. He went to New Mexico. He went to Mississippi. He went to New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta. He'd gone all over the country working. And we sent him to a job in Philadelphia. And by this time, Ray had decided enough was enough, and the smoking the pot and hanging out with the boys had to go. And he put those things aside. And when he went to Philadelphia, those people offered him a position, a full-time position, working with them. The way it worked, the company is actually out of Birmingham, Alabama, but they get jobs and then they will send their people to those jobs, so they don't necessarily have to live in that city. And Ray, they told him he had to go take a urinalysis. He went and took the test, passed the test, started the job, and he's been on that job for about 7 years now. He's made enough money that he relocated his family to Houston, Texas. He's buying a $300 home in Houston now. And that's what he was able to come and see that he could make these changes in his life, get a job with a livable wage, and become successful. So, and like I said, we've got plenty of stories like that where people have come and become very successful in doing this type of work.
Wow. Okay. Now, I guess the most important thing that folks want to take away from here is that how do we get a hold of you, and what's the deadline to apply and that kind of stuff?
Okay, again, like I said, you can either stop by our office at 615 North W Street, but presently we're only in the office from 8 to 12 until we start the program. But you can call us at any time at 850-748-0675. That's my cell. Not only are we in the office with it, but anywhere else, you can call and we will put you write you down as the person that wants to participate in the program, explain everything to you, and by the second week in December, will have called you and set up a time for you to come in and take your tape and do your application and tell you when your orientation date would be. Also, you can call the office again, and this is our office phone, and you can actually leave a message for us. And that's 850-433-9377. You can contact us, uh, and we would put you down. If you come in and would like to sit and talk to us about the program, we'll sit and talk with you. Uh, we've we've got yard signs all over the city. Uh, they give you our information about concerning the program and how to get in contact with us. Um, Again, we look to work with people who've been marginalized, uh, under, underserved, uh, underemployed, or unemployed. We're looking for people who are having problems or who've missed a mark. We will accept people who have been to prison and have felonies on their record. The only charge that we cannot accept are sex offenders charges, and that has to do. We have a school downstairs,
Mhm.
and I never tell you where we're located. We're located at 615 North W Street. It's called the Jolene Avant Center of Excellence. It's between Gaston and Jackson on W Street. If you know the area where Lucky Penny is, the service station, we're right behind the station. We're on the second floor. Come up the side of the stairs where the church is, and come straight through that door, and you'll be able to find us and register for the class and get ready to get started. And the class will not start until January 6th. It's the holidays now. So we know everybody's busy doing other things. So we just do the preparation to get you ready for class. And then on the 6th of January, we start the class.
Okay. Now, let me understand it correct. Now, it's a 12-week course, right? And you train it, and it's free. I mean, sound like a great deal. You're gonna pay people a stipend to learn a trade in the environmental career field. And how did y'all make that? How did you make that happen? Number one, and number two is that once the program is over with, once the training is over with, uh, they're gonna be certified to be able to do those kinds of things. Will job opportunities be available? At least they'll be marketable. Am I correct?
Yes,
Correct.
I can just chime in on that, Doc. One of the interesting things is that a lot of our students, when they graduate, uh, we have students who have gotten jobs with DKI, ServPro, ProClean, area housing. Now we're partnering with the county. You know, they have jobs opening. ECUA has job openings. That way they can go in and apply for them. And I didn't have a chance to talk with Dr. Avan, but I got a call from not so much a call from a young man. His mother told me that he starts work with GE's doing solar turbines out at the GE plant here locally. So that's kind of goes to show you that, you know, once you apply yourself, sometimes it takes a minute for you to get where you need to be, but you know the opportunities are there. And when they look at those resumes and see those young men have some background in electrical, some background in construction, apprentice, it says a lot, you know. And you know, we pride ourselves on the school because of the fact that it whatever fears that they may have when they come in here, we try to help them to dispel those fears. A lot of them come in, they're afraid of math. They say, man, I haven't been in math in 30 years or 15 years. And what we try to do is show them that you can get it. It's something that you can learn. You go back. It's like a refresher. And within us, even the first 6 weeks, they're getting all that information. So to see that happen and then see what the end results are, like Mr. Watson, what you were talking about is for jobs. The opportunities are there. There's a lot of work here in Pensacola, but they're looking for people that are certified in those areas. And one of the things that really stands out is that OSHA card, that OSHA 10 and OSHA 30. And that's one of the things that when they have that in their hand and they go to a job site, a lot of times, without any question, when they pull that card out, they automatically seem like, yeah, we want to give you a shot. We want to give you a shot at a job opportunity.
So is there any age limits or any limitations on other than what you said a while ago about you couldn't be a sex offender and stuff like that? But there's an age limit.
You have to be able to speak English well enough that we can understand you, because this is an English course. And again, like I said, we've really set to do for high school and high school diplomas and GED, but we've taken several students in who don't have high school diplomas. We come in and we sit and we do an interview with them, and we see that there's somebody who really got their head tied on tight and are able to go forward and be successful. There was another question you asked at the beginning, just a few minutes ago. How did we get involved in this?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Tony McCrae introduced us to Ms. Beverly Wright, who is the executive director for the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice out of New Orleans, Louisiana. They have a grant with the National Institute of Environmental Health Science to conduct this environmental worker training program. They've got places that they teach the class in Houston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Pensacola, Florida, and Detroit, Michigan, are all under their umbrella. And they came and offered us a chance to be a part of this. This particular class is our 10th year of conducting these classes. They came over and they gave us the curriculum, everything that we needed in order to make everything work. Then they sent some of their trainers over to train us so that we could learn, the people who brought the information so that we could start learning, because initially we really did not know much about this. And we had a local person who came in and worked with us for 5 years who really put us on point. Miss Christine Harris Blackman. She had a master's in, let me see, can I remember?
Industrial hygienist?
Excuse me?
Industrial hygienist?
She's an industrial hygienist and had a master's degree in it. She had 20 years in the Air Force doing this work. Her last 10 years, and she was just retiring again when we approached her. She was the OSHA person for the Naval Air Station here. And she came in and really put us on point. Someone local who could make us understand all of the things that we need to do. Something as simple as, I remember I was told I was going out to Harbor Freight to pick up some tools. And she told me, she said, with this type of program, that's not a good place to go. You have to go somewhere where those tools are going to last you. She said, and she sent us to Granger's. And with some of those same tools we bought 9 years ago, we're using them now. Because of the quality of what we have. But it takes somebody to understand that and know that, so that they can teach you and show you exactly how to do what you need to do, how to go back. I don't know if the students, we have to be taught how to wear TVAC suits, how to use respirators, both half-face respirators, full-face respirators, how to put on scuba tanks on their back and utilize that, because many times they'll go into a place they can't breathe any of the air, but they've got a scuba tank on and they've got a different type of TVEC suit that seals them completely off from anything going on in that room. And that's what, some people come with and say, isn't it dangerous doing that work? I say, yeah, if you don't know how to, if you don't understand what you're supposed to do. And that's why when Pastor Grill said, I've worked hard to get OSHA 30. That's a safety course. And that's 30 hours of training on nothing but safety.
Can
so
we
that
go
you
over
can
that?
understand.
Let's go over that for a minute. I want to get to the folks that might be just what you had pointed out earlier. Just might be afraid that I don't want to. I'm scared. I'm afraid I'm not going to learn anything. You can. This is basic enough. You're going to teach them the basic skills. Am I right? You're going to teach them the life skills. You're going to teach them those hazardous materials training. You're gonna go over math stuff with them, environmental justice stuff with them, so they don't have to fear about not being able to learn the program. That's if I understand you, that's the first half of your program. And the next half of your program, you're gonna talk about the kinds of things that they are going to do. Like y'all can talk to me about the course itself. Tell me what they're gonna learn and what they're gonna be certified in once they complete the training.
Well,
let me take the basic skills, and you take the technical skills. But in the basic skills, we come in, like I said earlier, many of the students have not been in school for a while, so that they can start learning how to study, how to go home and do homework, how to go about making sure that they're learning everything that they need to know. All of our teachers are people who have worked in those fields or have taught school in those arenas, so that they can start learning how to feel comfortable in coming in. And because I've seen people who were real tight when it came time to take a test. Well, if you've been taking tests for the last 6 weeks, you've gotten accustomed to taking tests. We talk about how be taught in the study skills, how to go about taking a standardized test. Not knowing I'm not talking about the material on the test, but what is your strategy for taking a standardized test? And, there's some things that we've learned over time that if you teach them this, it takes a lot of that anxiety away from them, because they feel comfortable in saying, well, if I don't know it, this is what I'm going to do. Something that we tell them, first read all your directions, understand all of that. Then we come back and say, now start reading through your test, and every question that you know, answer it. If it's a question that you don't know, put a check by it and don't spend 1 second, because you looking at it for the next 10 minutes is not going to make you know it. And you go on and finish up taking the test. And then if it come, then you go back to those ones that because you want to make sure you get. If you looking at that 10 minutes, there might be some answers that you might have known, but because you spent so much time looking at those ones that you didn't know, you never got to those questions. So you want to make sure you go through and be able to finish the test. When you finish the test, you go back to the ones you've checked. And usually on a standardized test, 2 of the answers don't even match up with the question. So you take those, knock those out, and then take the 2 that's left and make an educated guess. You're going to get some of those. That's like taking a true and false. I cannot know any of the questions, but being true and false, I'm going to guess up on some of them. And then when you get to the end of the test and they say you got 1 minute and you still have not completed it, if you're not getting any thing held against you for wrong answers, go ahead and Christmas tree it. Because we know you can't get a right answer if it's not marked. And that's just a strategy of how to take the test. And trying to calm them down so that they'll go back and feel comfortable in sitting and taking the test. Also, we learn some of our people have learning disabilities. And if you let us know, we'll give you more time to take that test. We won't run in and say, okay, this has got to be done in 1 hour. But if we know you have issues with that, we will allow you to be able to take the test at your own time frame so that you can be able to answer the questions. Because we've had several people like that. And we had 1 or 2 of them that made the highest scores in the class, all because we gave them enough time to take the test. But that's
Right.
that's kind of what we do in the basic skill class. Pastor, we are telling about the technical skills.
Okay. Well, I think I need to start off by saying this. There are some that will come in, and this is probably an answer to Mr. Watson's question earlier. How old what's the age limit? A lot of times we have young people, and not just young people, but people coming in with career want to do career changes. And this is a plus for those ones who have been in the workforce. Maybe they might have been in the workforce maybe 5, 10, 15 years, but they've been doing a job that seemed like that might have been a dead end job. And so now they really want to do something different. And because of the fact that the skills that they're getting ready to learn, will take them on a different path altogether. So one of the interesting things is that every technical class that they take is going to be something dealing with maybe hands-on. The instructors will either give them some examples or either allow them to put their hands on certain types of things that we're doing. Haswapper, and this is pretty interesting. When you're learning Haswapper, the most interesting thing of it is that you're learning safety. You're learning about hazardous material. And because of where we live at here in Pensacola, we've dealt with hurricanes, we've dealt with disasters, and a lot of times we'll get out there after a storm is coming. We get out and start cleaning up our own yards. We'll go out and do all kind of things, not knowing the contaminants and stuff that we've been doing. This is just stuff that's out there that we don't have no knowledge of, but we take that chance of going out and cleaning it up. Well, now when you're taking these classes, you understand how to protect yourself. A lot of folks don't know when you're out there driving your car and they're doing road work and they're say they laying a road and there's a silica dust in the air, and most folks don't know what silica dust is, but it's a cancer causing agent. And if you ever notice when they're doing a road construction, the guys have gotten broken up concrete and stuff, and they're laying it, and they got these machines that are rolling over there, smoothing it out, and you got another machine coming around with water, spraying water over the top of it. Well, what's happening here is that water machine that's flowing behind it is actually knocking down the silica dust to keep those guys who are working on the roads from catching all the cancer agencies that's floating in the air. Well, a lot of times we don't know that. Our fathers and brothers and sisters, but they might have worked on a road camp and didn't know all of this stuff. And now our family members who passed away, guess what? They probably died with some type of cancer-related illness because of the type of work they done. So now our young folks who are coming along, they want to do this type of work. Now they know about certain type of masks that they need to wear. They understand about what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. And so this is a part of our training program. The asbestos. Dr. David had mentioned earlier about the TVAC suits and the different types of masks that they learn how to don. You have a class in mold remediation, how to deal with mold, how to treat mold. It's interesting because, like, again, we grew up in an area that does a lot of flooding, so we're gonna have mold. Well, as a kid, we never thought about that. We took I got some bleach, poured it on, sprayed it on the wall, and rinsed it down, and called it a day. Well, now they're learning more about how to handle that type of
Pastor
how
Greer,
to
can
work
I
in the environment.
can I interject for just a moment? I'll give it right
Yes,
back
sir.
to you. When he said mold, I don't know if you remember when the federal courthouse had the fence all the way around it, and it was full of mold. Our students cleaned that place up. They were there on a 6-month assignment, and they went in and they were the people who cleaned the whole entire federal courthouse up, because we had they were certified. They had all of the skills to go forward and do that. I'm sorry, that just popped in my head.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sir. Yes, sir. Then you're moving into construction. One of the interesting things is in the basic skills, have a math class, and we teach them how to read a tape measure. We give them things that relate to the job that they're planning on doing. And so, as Dr. Avan mentioned, these are things that a lot of them will come in that are older, know about this, but nobody really put it in perspective. We can hear terminology, but we don't know what they're talking about. But when you bring them into class and you begin to give them those terms and they start learning about acronyms and things of that nature, then they go, oh, okay, now I understand what you're trying to tell me. And their mentality is, I knew this, I already know this. Well, guess what? You didn't know what it was called. And so now you know what it's called. And so when you go on a job and you're doing an interview, you can talk responsibly. You can be, in other words, you can understand what the guy is talking about, and they understand now. They know you know what you're talking about, and so and that's one of the things that I've noticed, that a lot of them have lost good paying jobs or not received good paying jobs because of the fact that they just didn't know how to communicate. And so we try to make sure they know how to do that. The electrical side of it, that's another class that we have that's awesome. Yeah, he mentioned Mr. Mike Allen, who's a licensed contractor here in Pensacola, electrical contractor here in Pensacola. Spend time making sure these young men know how to go in and change receptacles, how to install wall receptacles, light switches. They go from uh, knowing nothing about electricity, being fearful of electricity, to how to respect it. And in fact, just this past year, they had 3 houses that they wired from top to bottom. And then if you know anything about a house, you got different phases. If you got a kitchen area, it's going to have a certain type of amount of watts or amps that you need to run that area. You got a wash machine and dryer, that's going to have a different type of hookup. You go into your HVAC, you're going to have a different type of hookup. So they learn all of this in these classes, and that's another thing that's a plus for them. So all of those classes, putting it all together, now they've got something that they can walk out the door and say, hey, I've got the knowledge, I got the skills. I'm going to add one other thing that's going to be important. A lot of times they don't realize that those same skills that they have, they could actually go downtown and apply for a job in the inspector's office, because they're looking for inspectors. And if you've been working on jobs for a long time, but now you got the terminology and you understand it, a lot of times you can go down and apply for those positions as well as a inspector, because they need inspectors here in Pensacola, especially because when you're dealing with construction. The other thing on also is that the market is out there. It's wide open. Now you can take care of your families. Now you can earn a decent wage. And then you go in with an attitude that, I feel comfortable now in talking about what it is that I need to do, that I want to do. In other words, back in the day when we were growing up, we walk in there and we sit down in an interview, and the first thing we say, well, I'll do anything. I just want a job. Yeah. And guess what they do? They give you a job, but you ain't making no money. And after you've gotten on the job and you learn that job, guess what? They still gonna pay you less than the person coming in the door, because they say, well, you know what? You came in. I just gave you opportunity. Yeah, but you gave me an opportunity, but you didn't give me no room for advancement. You let somebody who walked in the door and you give them that opportunity because they came in. Well, I got a college degree. Yeah, but I've got 25 years of OJT, on the job training. Yeah. What are you saying?
Pastor, when you were talking about the electricity class, Mr. Allen, we did a solar installation class this summer, and in that class, but it was when he was teaching the electrical part of the class. He taught the students how to straight wire a fluorescent fixture so that it can become a LED fixture. Where a 4-foot LED fixture costs you $100. It only takes them a few minutes to take the wires away from the balance and straight wire it, and now you've got a LED fixture that, let's say they charge you $10 per unit to go in and do that work, where it would have cost them $100. Now that's only costing them $10 $20 to have that fixture fixed. And one of the other things about Mr. Allen, if you're good, he's going to hire you. He doesn't let them get away from him. This summer, he hired about 6 of our people coming out of that class. That they're working every day for him, and that's because he has people who, he knows he can trust them. He know they know all of the things that they're supposed to do because they've gone through the class with him, and he's walked them all the way through. And most of the training classes, it's about 50-50, 50% classroom work or theory, and then 50% hands-on work. So they actually show you step by step what you're supposed to do, what it's supposed to look like. Again, when he was talking about Mr. Weatherization guy and construction person and Mr. Allen, they take them out on sites, work sites, so that they can actually see people working or get in there and put their hands in it to start to actually doing the work. So eventually they feel comfortable with what they have to do. And I kept getting away from when the way we got here. Those people in New Orleans have been a godsend because they give us all of the funds to make this happen. That they with that grant that they have, they give us money to come back and set the program up. We also work the PIs or the principal investigators for the grant is Dr. Beverly Wright, who is the executive director at Deep South Center for Environmental Justice, and Dr. Robert Bullard, who is the director of the Bullard Center for Environmental and Climate Justice out of Texas Southern University. Again, we work with quite a few of those HBCUs who help us in making sure we get qualified people to come in and do the training and get the work done so that when the students leave, they feel comfortable. We've not had one employer to come back and tell us that our students did not know what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
They were able to come in and show them and make them understand, and they go out and they're able to do the work.
Okay. For the folks that are watching this, gentlemen, I just want them to understand that the purpose of this program is that you are recruiting people for this training program. I put on the thing that say a free paid training program, and they need to contact you, and they're gonna learn a lot of things. They're gonna learn a skill at your expense. Okay. I mean, how many times do you get an opportunity? Somebody's gonna pay you to learn a skill. Usually, you have to go out to the trade school or go to college and pay for your own skill. This is a great opportunity for anybody that's in the affected area to learn something that can carry them through life. And in the environmental, as we go along, this I can see this environmental field is going to be so important, in the future and going forward. It's never going to go away. We're always going to have environmental issues. And for the folks that interested, if you got kin folks or an uncle or a daughter or whomever that's interested in this field, in giving a career in this field, give them a call at 850-478-0675 or 850-433-9377. This is these gentlemen are recruiting for people to sign up for this program, this environmental career program, which will start on Pastor, you said January the 6th, right?
January 6th.
January the 6th. Now, they have to come down to your office or call and get set up. I don't know what they have to do. And what do they have to fill out an application? How do okay.
They take the tape and have to pass it at 70%. Okay. Then they come back and they fill out an application, and we will have an interview with them. And then once selected, then we have orientation, usually the next week, a 2-day orientation where they'll come in and do a lot of team building activities to see how to start working together.
When can they start contacting you? When can they start taking the test? Is there a deadline for that or what? We will probably go up until June 6th. But here's the thing.
January 6th.
We got 25 spots. And if the spots are gone,
okay,
as soon as they're gone, they're gone. And that's what So the sooner you can get here, the better it is. I like to make sure, tell females, this is labor intensive work. But if you don't mind working hard, this is great, because probably the best workers we've had have been females. Matter of fact, many of them have gone on to be supervisors on some of these jobs, so that because they just have a more, when they can come in to do the technical stuff, they understand and are able to supervise everybody. Because I found just because you can do the work, that don't mean you can supervise. And they come with some of those skills already.
So it's a first come, first serve basis, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to go over this with you so folks can understand this is not a real technical thing that is not unsurmountable, in other words. If you come in, if you're a little bit afraid of taking tests, Doc will work with you on how to take the test. And if you're a little bit afraid of that, I might fail this thing. Don't worry about it, because if I understand the program, okay, you're gonna have 2 6-week courses, right? First 6 weeks is going to be dealing with basics enhancement skills. Am I correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Enhancement skills. They're gonna teach you life skills, okay? They're gonna teach you hazardous material training. They're gonna teach you some math and study skills and some environmental justice. You're gonna need all those skills. I kind of associated fellows with which I never flew, but I've been around airplanes and stuff. But it's kind of like this is your ground training, right?
Yes, sir.
This is your ground training, and then the next 6 weeks they're gonna give you classes that gonna teach you how to fly. Okay, you're gonna get on there. You're gonna in section 2, you're gonna have you got 32 hours asbestos abatement working. You got 16 hours of lead abatement, and then you got 40 hours of hazard waste. Then you got 8 hours of is that microbiologics or awareness? How you pronounce that?
It's microbial, but it's mold.
Mold.
That's the mold class.
Mold. That's the mold class. Okay. And then you
mold
got 40
class.
hours of general construction, 40 hours of weatherization, and 30 hours of OSHA training. Now, does everybody get all of that, or you just pick one of which you want to do?
Everybody take all of the classes. Here's the thing. Each one of those certifications can be a job all by itself.
Right.
You could be working with people who that's what they do. They clean up asbestos. See, because and what you have to learn is that when we train you with this, all you do is come in and clear it out, clean it up, make it so that all of it's gone, whatever the issue is. Then you leave. It's somebody else's job to come back and to put it back in place, to put that wall back up, or to put everything back like it was. Our job is just to come and clean it up. We come to clean it. Like I say, if you got asbestos, is one of our biggest places that we actually get work for, because that's something that everybody's trying to get rid of. I remember what was it? Maybe about 4 summers ago, we had some young men working for the Escambia County School Board. They went around to schools and cleaned out all of the putty out of the windows at the school, because the putties had asbestos in it. They would clean them out, take that putty and put it in a container, take the window and lay it on the ground. They were through with that and moved to the next window. That was the job. That's why I say all of them you can get specific, so very, very specific. But then sometimes you have like the HAZWOPER position is when there's hurricanes, tornadoes, disasters. You can go and be able to set and to help clean up those places. And many times when it's like hurricanes, something else that go along with hurricanes is rain. So once you've done the giving the water out and the tarps out and all of that, now they're looking at being able to clean the mold up. So guess what? Everybody else, they leave. but you're able to stay because you have another job that you're capable of doing for that group. And that's kind of how everything plays itself out.
So now, when they finish this class, they will be certified in all those areas. They get a certification in asbestos and hazardous waste. All that they get a certification. All that I can
Yeah,
see that being very useful. I can see that very, very remarkable skills to do that. My
you
goodness, I
you
mean,
get you for Haswapper, you get that from FEMA.
hmm
For asbestos, you get that from the state of Florida professional business regulations.
mm,
For uh, mold is EPA. For lead is EPA. You understand? We had to go out and get certified as an organization to be able to come back and certify you. But then we've got to have certified instructors to teach the class. So everything is really professionally done. And when you finish up, they find out that they've got something that a lot of other people don't have. And the purpose for the grant from the beginning, marginalized, underserved people usually don't go in this field,
yeah,
and they wanted to open this up to uh, actually minorities so that they could actually get in and be able to do the work.
yeah. And one of the things I got on screen here, I said this is a free. That's the best four-letter word in our community, free. But it's a paid training program. Talking to them about you're going to be paid to do that. You're going to get a stipend. You're not going to get a salary, but you're going to get a stipend to learn a trade. Talk again about the stipend that they're going to receive and what are the requirements and eligibility to get the stipend and so forth. Okay.
Well, they will receive $100 a week, and they all what they have to do is to make sure they show up on time and they are in class actually working toward trying to learn the information. Uh, and if they're doing that, they don't they'll get the whole $100 at the end of the week. And most of the students, that's what they get. But you've got some people, they show up when they show up, uh, and this is starting to try to teach them. You've got some guidelines you have to follow on any job, and
Absolutely.
we're trying to make sure that they learn those skills so that when they go to the job, they're not going to have any problems in knowing if I'm supposed to work 8 hours, I work 8 hours. And many of the jobs that we send them on, not only do they, let's say if they work 12 hours, everything over 8 is time and a half. If they were making $20 an hour, now they're making $30 an hour for their last 4. Many of them do that, and then they work 6 days a week. So you're talking about that whole 12 hours on Saturday would be being paid at $30 an hour. And when you go, they put you up in a hotel. They they will give you a per diem to eat off of, depending on each area. It could be $30, or let's say we're in Cleveland, it might be $60 a day, depending on where you are as to what it will be. But those are the things that they receive from coming in and participating and learning all of these skills. Uh, we tell them once you learn. Oh, and then the other part, both Haswapper and asbestos, the certification only lasts 12 months, but you have to have a refresher course. We have a refresher course that they teach. We come in now. We charge them a little something for the refresher course. The course normally will cost you about $250 for an 8-hour course. We charge them $25 to come in and to take the refresher course and be certified for the next 12 months. So but those are things that we've put in place to make them be able to go. Oh, and wanted to our lunches. Our lunches are dynamite. Miss Fanny Finkley is the person that prepares all of our lunches with Pensacola Caring Hearts, and she does an excellent job. Come in and all of our students, they don't know what's on the menu, but they're happy when she show up, with the meal, because they know they're going to get a real meal. Because we also look at some people, that might be the only real meal they get all day, depending on their circumstance. So we make sure that they get a real good meal to take them through at least the time, this 8 hours that they're here with us.
Very good. All right, now we only got about 3 more minutes left. Doc, I want to give you that opportunity to tell the folks anything and everything that we probably, if we hadn't mentioned something, on how to get a hold of you, how to get in this program, who eligible, and so forth. We just kind of wrap it up and sum it up a little bit so that for folks that got in late on the show can understand what's going on here. Okay.
Yeah, this is a free environmental remediation course that normally would have cost you about $15,000. But you're going to get it for free because we have a sub grant with the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice that give us the funds to pay for the grant for the training. The training is a 12-week training operated from Monday through Fridays from 8 to 4, where you come to class and start learning all of the different subject areas that we teach. The first 6 weeks is basic skills. The last 6 weeks are the technical skill courses. And like I said, you need to call the number that you see on the screen, the 850-748-0675 or 850-433-9377, so that you can get in contact with us and we can register you for the class. Again, we only have 25 slots. So first come, first serve. If you're interested, get to us as fast as you can so that we can put your name on the list and get you set to be able to join with us and get started. Again, once you get certified in the technical areas, then we help you with employment assistance, as well as we teach you how to do that yourself, because we teach you how to, we actually have you to make resumes up and to get yourself prepared to start looking for jobs on your own, as well as the Unitarian Family Ministry helping you find jobs. I think that's about it. Is there anything else that you know I'm missing, Pastor Greer?
Yes, sir. I want to just end with this comment. If your parents understand that they're tired of you being a liability and want you to become an asset to the family, that means getting off that couch. That means to putting that remote control down, to do something positive with your life. They brought you all the way to the point through I guess 12th grade, got you to a point where now you're supposed to be a young adult and you should be ready to step out on your own. But a lot of times you have a fear. Well, we're here to help you overcome that fear, help you to get the confidence that you need to go forward in life. So I just wanted to share that with you because I believe that we can do a great service if you want to make a change in your life. That's something positive.
All right, gentlemen, I really appreciate it. It's a great opportunity and great privilege to have this hour with you guys. That you're doing something great for the community, folks. These are free. This is job training here. You're gonna get paid to learn a skill. So on the 25 positions right now, I know these opportunities comes up every so often there, but we want to make sure the program will start in January. You will be paid $100 a week to do this training. So you need to contact the folks there for this, which is called an environmental career training program. And the number is on the screen, and you need to contact them right away so you can get your name in the hat to get this training. Gentlemen, I appreciate you for coming on, and we will definitely put this out to the community and run this as often as we can, because one of the things I do know that we need jobs in our community, and people need to have skills and training in our community. So thank you again, gentlemen, for coming on board and telling us about what's available in our community, folks. This is going to be at the Darlene Advent Center of Excellence. And the address again, give them again the address again before we go, gentlemen.
615 North W Street.
615 North W Street. All right, I got to go. I'll see y'all later.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.